Hey, what's up, YouTubers? I know it's been a while now, but a lot of life things going around in the background here. But, you know, I finally did get my set 3 cards. I had it for a while now. I just wanted to open it with you guys in camera like I usually do, see what goodies we got from Kingslayer, because usually they do hook us up. We've been, not partnered, but we've been a patron of theirs for a long time now. Just because I know the owner and he's a really good guy. Like, it's a really legitimate business is not really the word I'm looking for, but something along those lines. Reputable business. But we got the... Oh, damn, they taped that. Okay, so, you know, we got the... It's from Kingslayer Cards. Not as full as it usually is. Let's see, how did they do this? This is Dark States. This is Keter. This is Brantgate. I'm guessing this is generic. Dragon Empire. Stoicheia. So probably Stoicheia is with this stuff. So... it's always in a weird DBZ box. I always think like that's pretty cool. Like, you just think it's a regular box and then you open it up, it's DBZ. But let's start with what we really care about here. What we care about is the Dark States cards. You know, usually I like to go in alphabetical order, but not really alphabetical order, but ordered by how like the nations are ordered. But that's really all I care about from this set, besides Deep Police. But that's because, shout out to a buddy of mine, that's one of his favorite clans. So I'm just kind of like building the deck for him, even though he really doesn't play anymore, but he plays with us in our friend group. Melody of Fiendish Flower Taka. Restless Unit. Choose a card from your damage zone, put it to your soul. Put a card to soul, top card to your deck into your damage zone face down. If you put a greater card for a name for your Vanguard or Soul, you can soul charge 1. That's actually pretty interesting. It's probably for the Sacrifice Glass deck, but that's actually a very interesting, unique soul charge skill. Mary Wildmaster Avril. When it's put on... Oh, sorry guys. When it's put on a rear guard, you may soul charge 1. And then when you're unused, place the same column as this unit. If your Vanguard's greater, it gets 5k at the end of turn. That's interesting. You could use that in the early game. These are the new discard fodders. When it's discarded, if your Vanguard's greater, Soul Blast 1, calls to rear guard. And if during your battle phase, this unit can't attack. And then if you have a total of 2 or more cards are put into your soul by your card's ability this turn, this gets boost. That's very interesting. I wish it's soul charged to replace the Soul Blast, which is why I don't think Dark States is necessarily going to use this card, but it's interesting. Internal Music Musiki, front row of Great Degree of or Sacrifice Glass. Choose your opponent's rear guards or retire it. When your Great Degree of Grand Noma and its card name attacks, this unit gets 10k. So this is the beater for Sacrifice Glass. Showered Applause Dragon. Okay, so they're doing this weird thing to whereas they'll give you Pale Moon support, but it's not actually a Pale Moon card. Like, this only works with Pale Moon, even though it's not a Pale Moon card. When this unit is placed on rear guard, finger of only Pale Moon in its clan, choose a card from your drop zone, put it in your soul. During your turn, if your unit is placed on rear guard from soul this turn, it gets 5k. If opponent's various greater or greater, it gets 10k instead of 5k. Alright, now we're going on to the triple rares. Illusionary, Lantern, Demonic Lady Fulcur. Placed on rear guard from hand, energy charge 1. And then auto at the beginning of battle, this unit boosted, you may energy blast 3 or more at the same time for the cost of your cards. When you energy blast 3, you retire this unit and draw a card at the end of the battle. Interesting. It charges energy and it also replaces itself, which is very interesting. Which is soul charged, but when this unit's bound other by the ability of a card with the same name as this, put it into the drop zone. It has, at the beginning of the battle this unit attacked, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it. If your bind zone has 1 or more cards with the same card name as this unit, choose your opponent's rear guards, retire it. If your bind zone has 2 or more cards with the same card as this unit, stand this unit. And then at the end of your turn, if your bind zone has 1 or less cards the same as this unit, choose one who governs ritual, sacrifice glass from your soul, ride it at rest. If you wrote a card, bind this card. That's very interesting with the sacrifice glass. So I'm guessing like as soon as you get the required amount into the bind zone, you just stay on her and you don't need to be on sacrifice glass anymore. That's what it seems like. But we have sacrifice glass here. At the beginning of your main phase, you get, when your opponent's unit is retired from rear guard or guard, you may energy charge 1 until the end of turn. And then at the end of the battle, this unit attacks a Vanguard, energy blast 4, search your deck or drop zone for 1 manifestation of the Great Skyline Grand Go Dogma from your deck, hand, or drop zone. Yeah, hand, deck, or drop zone. Right at a stand, it gets plus 15 and minus 2 drives. If you searched your deck, shuffle the deck. If you wrote a card, your opponent may draw a card, which is interesting. Yeah, I know this like lets your opponent draw, which is very it's very interesting. I know there's a couple other cards that also let your opponent draw, so it's very weird. It's supposed to be like it kind of reminds me of Glendios. It's supposed to be, but like it doesn't have like an inherent win condition or like an alt win the game combo, but it does kind of remind me of Glendios. Let me see, new Silverthorn. If you have a Silverthorn, Tamer Luke here, it gets 5k. If opponent's Vanguard is greater or greater, all your front will get 5k. Energy Blast 3, put a card from hand to soul. Choose any number of greater or less units with each different grades from your soul. Call them to rear guard. When it attacks, put 2 rear guards of soul, draw a card. It gets 5k in battle. If your opponent's Vanguard is greater or greater, it gets plus crit 2. So I know this is a real deck now. I know when it first came out, I really wasn't a fan of the deck because it just kind of like, it seemed like why play this over any other Dark States deck that kind of just does what this deck is doing but better. But I know this is a real strategy now. And I'm just going to quickly go over the other Dark States cards. I'm not really going to read them. Like, I'm just going to skim through them really quick. I only really want to read the rares, the double rares and the rares in this set. At least for this video. I'll probably read all these cards later. So this is the starter for Sacrifice Glass. I don't want this video to be too long. Let me order this correctly for later. So that's all the Dark States cards. Let's go through D-Police cards. Not D-Police, the frickin', what's it called? You guys know what I meant. You guys know what I meant. Refractile Dragon. When it's used, discard during your turn. If your hand is greater or greater, so plus 1, call it to rear guard. If called during the battle phase, can't attack. And then if any player's card is put into your order zone this turn, it gets boost. So it really, they made it this way so it can work with every Brain Gate deck. This is the new Arms card, the drill that can pierce the heavens. Just kidding. Armed Arms Drill. When this unit attacks, put a card of arms in its card name from drop to soul. Choose one of the following according to the circle this unit's on. Vanguard Circle. If this has 2 or more attacks, it gets plus 1 crit. Whew. Excuse me, guys. Doing this kind of in the morning. And then Rear Guard, it gets 5 kits in that battle. Interesting that the arms are getting new support cards. I hope it's enough to make it relevant. That deck is actually like really in a really bad spot right now. Dimensional Robo Die Mariners. This is a grade 1 for D-Police. When this card is discarded from hand during your turn, you may put it to soul. When this unit is placed on rear guard from soul by your card's ability. If you have a grid through grave with that use its name, to your turn, it's 2k and your opponent cannot intercept. So this is like in reference to like the older version of this card that did something very similar, which is really cool. I love the whole stop the intercept mechanic. I wish they would explore it more, especially in Dragon Empire. Dragon Empire just got a card, but it only works with what's his name? It only works with Drag Vita, but yeah, Varga. It only works with Varga, but that's a really good mechanic. Repair Robo Ready. Place on rear guard. Soul Blast 1. Look top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 each with arms. These are card names. Reveal them. Put 1 into your hand. Discard the rest. When your grade 3 Grand still in this kind of attack, so while someone retires unit, at the end of the battle, when the opponent will call cards from guard in hand, they call 2 or more at the same time. Okay, so this kind of helps with like the win condition of the deck, because basically you just want to get your Vanguard very large. With the arms, like naturally you'll get your Vanguard very large, but it kind of ran into the Tachikaze problem, where you have like a really big Vanguard, but like they'll just perfect guard it and then have a great day. Now we're getting on to the main guy of the D Police. It has, when this unit attacks, Subblast 1, draw a card. No, Counterblast 1, draw a card. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose any number of units with Dimensional Robo and different card names. They get 5k to the end of turn. And then it has auto at the end of battle unit attack. Put a card from your hand to soul, stand this unit, and it gets -2 drives until the end of turn. If your bind zone does not have a Dimensional Robo Goyusha and you Persona Road this turn, bind a Dimensional Robo Goyusha from your soul and it gets +1 drive. So that's really cool. But you have to have the Goyusha in soul. You have to have the Goyusha in soul so you don't go negative equity in cards. So basically, if you don't have the Goyusha in soul, you'll just restand. You'll go down a card. You'll restand with no drive checks. But if you have the Goyusha in soul, you'll go down a card, and then you'll replenish that card with the drive check, which is very cool. This is the new Archetype. It's also regarded as the original Archetype. Active Vanguard, Energy Blast 2. Choose up to 3 cards of monster in their card names from drop zone. Put them into the order zone. Auto Vanguard, when your rear guard with monster and its card name is placed, put a card with the same card name as that rear guard from drop and from order zone to drop. It gets 10k to the end of turn. And then when it attacks a Vanguard, choose up to 2 cards each with monster and different card names from the order zone and call them to rear guard. So this is supposed to like really help the strategy. I know they got other monster cards as well, but yeah, that deck was really cool. The concept of the deck was really cool, but it just kind of like aged poorly with the more new support cards we got. It just really couldn't keep up. So I'm glad that they chose to support the strategy again. Light Ray Monster Ravius. When it's placed on a rear guard with ability or Vanguard Archetype in its name, it gets auto when this unit attacks. Counterblast 1, choose your opponent's Vanguards, gets -5 to the end of turn until end of turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets +10k and 1 crit to the end of turn. And then this can't be chosen by your opponent's card effect. So this not only have they made this like a really effective pressure card / win condition, but they've also made it to whereas it's also hard to remove off the board. It's a very sticky card, and I'm a fan of cards like these. And then we have Super Dimensional Robo Dialady. When this unit is placed on rear guard, Vanguard with Dimensional Robo in its name, Counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 base, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck, and then when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if your order zone has 2 or more bases, it gets 10k until the end of that battle. I know people were talking about using... Ooh, Homegirl scratched up a little bit. Yeah, oh well. I know people were talking about using this in Heroes. I almost feel like you don't want to, because Heroes are already so consistent by themselves. You really just want to maximize on your main hero engine. You don't really have room for non-engine in Heroes. Heroes is like one of those decks, kind of like the Overdress deck, to where they've always wanted to run more cards in the main than they're actually allowed to. But those are the D-Robo cards. We're going to quickly skim over D-Robo cards. I did it again, damn it. Those are the Brand Gate cards. We're going to quickly skim over the commons and rares. I haven't looked at this set at all, besides like a few reveals that I've heard about or seen here and there. So this is usually how I like to personally go into a set. I like to go into a set semi-blind. I know some people like to playtest beforehand. It's just I've always felt like that will just ruin the set for me, and I'll just get bored with it super easily, and then just be like, oh, what's the new stuff that's coming out? When this just came out itself, but I'm already waiting for the new stuff. At least that's how I feel most people act when they basically... They know everything about the set before it comes out, so when the set does come out, they don't really care for the set. It's interesting how they made this a grade 0 order card. So if there was a turn 0 play, you could technically play this on turn 0, but there's no turn 0 play. It's like the most you could do is play this on turn 1. But those are the brand gate cards. I guess we'll just go in this pile order. Nosedive Falcon. Let me see what you guys can see here. Okay. Nosedive Falcon. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard was placed this turn, it gets 5k. Okay. Back row, if your unit was placed from deck this turn, Counter Boss won't stand this unit, move it to an open rear guard, and then at the end of the turn, retire this unit. So that's very interesting. From some multi-attack strategies. I feel like this is for Alden, but I'm not 100% sure because it doesn't specifically name Alden, but it's interesting. Platina Main Stallion. Oh, bro, it has Platina. You already know this is for Ezel. If you have a Vanguard of only Gold Paladin in its card name, and they're doing this again to whereas this only works with Gold Paladin, but they're not making this card Gold Paladin, which is very interesting. At least from like lore. If you're talking about from a lore standpoint with like the encounter cards, which are basically like they're like memories or like blasts from the past. If you're looking at it from a lore standpoint, it's very weird when you have like today cards today that support these encounter cards. If you're thinking about it from a lore standpoint. Let me see. When it's placed on rear guard of a grade 3 grade Vanguard of only Gold Paladin in its clan. Energy Blast 3, look at top 3 cards of your deck, choose one grade 3 or less card with a different card name from this unit among them, call to an open rear guard, the rest on the bottom in any order. If you call the card again in turn, put this unit on the bottom of the deck. So this is just very helpful for the Ezel strategy and what Ezel's trying to do. Exalted Dragon, this is the discard dragon. If your unit splits the right card's ability this turn, it gets boost, and then if you discard it, if you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard during your turn, Soul Blast 1, call it to rear guard. Freezing Magic Frofros. This only works with Genesis, but it's not a Genesis card. When this is placed on rear guard, if your grade 2 or greater Minerva in its name, Soul Blast 2, choose 2 normal units of the same card name without Sentinel from your drop. If you chose 2, put 1 into the hand, the rest to the deck, and shuffle it. So this is really cool because the Minerva deck is notorious for like going through its deck uber fast because you're drawing cards and you're soul charging a lot. So this is a really good, even though it only puts 1 card, it's really cool that it has a way to recycle now. Even though this is non-Genesis, which hurts the deck, to be honest. It's non-Genesis, it really hurts the deck. Because you really care about your Genesis units. We have, this is for the sleeper agents. Knight of Blackness of Your Undercover Obscure. Act Gauge Zone. If this unit is in an undercover gauge, Soul Blast 1, call it to the back row center. If a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with undercover in its name, this unit can attack from the back row center column and it gets 10k, so it's 23k beater by itself. And then rear guard auto, when it attacks from the back row center column, if a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with undercover in its name and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and no drive checks are performed for the battle that your rear guard attacked this turn, Soul Blast 1, until the end of the battle, this unit performs drive checks and gets drive -1 into that battle, and put this on the bottom of the deck. So if you're using what this basically reads is if you're using the Keter Sanctuary Overtrigger, you want to swing with this first before you swing with your Vanguard, because you won't get the drive checks if your rear guards have drive checks. Oh, no, I'm capping. You can still swing with the Vanguard first, but after you swing with the Vanguard and you get the Keter OT, this has to be the next attack because it checks to see if any other rear guards perform drive checks this turn. So that's actually really cool. That's really cool. We have a grade 1 Magic of Threaded Connections per Arma. When you see this placed on rear guard during main phase, Camel Swing, choose one card of grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from hand, call it to rear guard, if you call the card, draw a card. During your turn, your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater. If you're 4 more units, gets 5k at the end of the turn. This seems like just solid generic support. I don't know what deck this is for, to be honest. This is Knight of Herdness Undercover Dira. This looks like a Shadow Paladin card. When it's placed on a rear guard, if you have a Vanguard Undercover in its card name or Shadow Paladin, so this works with Shadow Paladin too. That's crazy. Karen Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card of Undercover in its name or only Shadow Paladin in its clan from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the deck. This card's sick. I can put this in my PBO deck, man. We're going to bring PBO back to life. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have Vanguard of Undercover only in its card name or Shadow Paladin, Soul Blast 1, it gets 10 KT in the battle. This is really sick. This is really sick. And then now we have the Sleeper Agent card. Poison Knight of Silence, Undercover, Mordalion. During your turn, if your Autozone has 3 or more monitored Triced, all your units of Undercover in your card name get 5k. And then it has Act, Vanguard once per turn, Energy Blast 2. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to the same number of cards as the number of monitored Triced without any undercover gauges in your order zone from among them. Put them face down as an undercover gauge for each monitored Triced without any undercover gauges and shuffle your deck. And as auto, when this unit attacks, Karen Blast 1, choose 2 cards of undercover with undercover in their card names for your undercover gauge. Call them to a rear guard in the same column. So this lets you get an extra attack off, but they have to be in the same column. I believe there's different ways that this deck can get like 5, 6, 7 attacks, but I don't know the exact combos or lines. But that's really cool. Like the Undercover deck is really cool, and the fact that it has a card that also supports Shadow Paladin, I'm really excited for that now. I can dust off my PBO deck, man. That's like that's one of my favorite Keter decks. I just stopped playing Keter because everything just turned into like the 12-card engine of Keter pile, and I really wasn't a fan of that. I'm a fan of creativity and deck diversity. But just going over. We're not really going to read these cards. We're just going to go over them quickly. These look like the Undercover cards. I almost want to say that Hexorb got supported, but in this set it looks like it, but it doesn't look like there's anything that specifically names Hexorb. Just like really good generic Keter stuff. Alright, and let's go to Dragon Empire. Spark Spike Dragon. So this is a Murakami card, but it's not Murakami, which Murakami doesn't matter. That doesn't matter to Murakami as much, but it does hurt the consistency of the deck a little bit. If you're Vanguard of only Murakami in his clan and all your rigor of the same column as this unit, get 5k. If your Vanguard attack hit 2 or more times, they get 10k instead of 5k. At the end of battle, this unit boosted. Your Vanguard attacked 2 or more hit 2 or more times. Energy Blast 3, draw a card. So that's very good for the Murakami deck. The Murakami deck was missing just draw power. I felt like it had good enough power, but it was harder to get. But this really helps the Murakami deck. Lawrence Glare Dragon. When this card is discarded during your turn, blah 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 blah. If you have 2 or more rear guards, your opponent gets boost. Just a discarder. When this unit's boosted, it gets 5 until the end of the battle for each set order in your order zone. If this gets 15 or more, Soul Blast 1, until the end of that battle, when your opponent will call cards from hand, they must call 2 or more at the same time. What deck is this for? Is this for the... I think this is for the Blacksmith Dragon deck. But it's not an Iron Core card. So it kind of hurts the consistency there. Yeah, it says your order zone, so I guess this is for the Blacksmith deck, but it's not a Blacksmith card, which is weird. Ember Breath Dragon. During your turn, if a greater Vanguard with Coffee Blaze in its name, gets 5k. If you have a greater Vanguard with Coffee Blaze in its name, act, Karen Blast 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them. Reveal it. Call it to rear guard. If the revealed card is a grade 2 or less normal unit, and then put it to hand if it's not. So top 3, just add anything. Top 3, add anything. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. At the end of the turn, put this to soul. So it replaces itself. That's really cool. That's really cool. Flame Kicker Tarian. When this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 greater Vanguard of Coffee Blaze in its name, it gets 5k at the end of the turn. At the end of battle, this unit attack, choose a grade 3 card of Coffee Blaze in its card name from your ride deck. You may reveal it. If you revealed a card, you may have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard of Coffee Blaze in its name. Put this to soul, draw a card. So that's interesting. I wonder if this works. I would have to look up rulings or ask a Bushiroad, official Bushiroad judge. I wonder if this works with the cards that put cards back into your ride deck face up. If you could reveal face up ride deck cards, I wonder if it works that way. That's very interesting. And then this is not Shirinu, this is stealth support in general. When these placed on rear guard, look top 5 cards of your deck, choose one stealth from among them, put it into your soul, shuffle your deck. If your opponent's Vanguard is greater or greater, it gets 5 kills in turn. When this unit's put from rear guard into soul during your battle phase, counterblast 1, choose up to 2 face-up cards in your opponent's bind zone, put them to drop zone, and you get all your front row units in stealth in their card name, get 5k to your turn. So I know Shirinu can use this card, I heard talks about that, but this is for mainly this guy. Cloudwater, Flint Foot, Stealth Rogue, Shoujo Doji. So this is Shoujo Doji off the sauce. He's sobered up. He's only on that water gang right now. It's regarded as the old Shoujo Doji, and he has Act, Energy Blast 3, bind 3 cards with stealth in their different card name. No, just stealth in their card names from Soul. Choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, bind rear guard circles, bind all the cards chosen in a rear guard circle. Your opponent chooses a card from the hand and binds it. At the end of your turn, your opponent puts them to hand, and then auto Vanguard when this unit attacks or is attacked. Put 2 rear guards to soul. Choose 2 cards with stealth in their card name from your bind zone. Call them each to a front row and back row. If it's during your opponent's battle phase, call all of the chosen cards to Guardian Circle instead. So this is really cool because it has it already did have it, but it has even more offense and defense. And I'm a really fan of this type of mechanic that Bushiroad has been promoting, not in all their archetypes, but in certain archetypes, to whereas they're giving it added defense without taking away from the offense. And I'm a very huge fan of that. And then we have Fiery Immolation Dragon Coffee Blaze. Honestly, just like the name by itself really wants me to play this deck. This deck looks awesome. I know it doesn't play like it's a gimmick deck. It's a combo deck, which means like it should have been Dark States. JK. But just like the way this card looks and the name of it really makes me want to play this deck. Act Vanguard once per turn. Counterblast 1. Look top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 grade 3 or less cards with different card names from this unit from among them. Reveal them. Choose up to 1 of the cards revealed. Call it to rear guard. Put the rest of the revealed cards into soul. Shuffle. As auto Vanguard, at the end of battle this unit attack, perform one of the following. Soul Blast 2. For each card Soul Blast for this cost, choose up to 1 of your rear guards with the same card name as that card. Stand it. It gets 5 kicks in a turn. Oh, so you can only choose 1. And then Soul Blast 2, cards of the same card name as this unit, discard a card from hand, stand it, it gets 5k and -1 drive. That's really cool. So you could either multi-attack with 2 rears, or you could restand the Vanguard. It just really depends on what you have. So this is a very flexible card, and I'm a fan of that type of flexibility. It's really cool. That's really solid. And this actually, this effect works with the Dragon Empire Overtrigger. Like they've been coming out with a few Dragon Empire decks that really don't work with the Dragon Empire Overtrigger, but the fact that this is something to where you want to attack with it again because it works with the Dragon Empire Overtrigger, and it even works with itself because this auto ability isn't once per turn. So that's really cool. That's really cool. Alright, we're just gonna go over quickly the commons and rares. Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't been around to post much, guys. But when this new set, like I guarantee, like I thought I was gonna be able to get content last week, and then it just didn't work out that way. So with this new set, I can guarantee you guys that things will definitely be different. Like I'm still gonna, my first thing, because I promised you guys Lasardi of Lenejo. So the first thing I'm gonna do is Lasardi of Lenejo. 100% I'm gonna do Lasardi of Lenejo. But after that, like it's literally gonna be a set 3 deck. Most likely Sacrifice Glass. But after that, guys, like the sky is the limit. Like these set 3 decks look awesome. Oh yeah, Mythicar. Mythicar got supported in this set, man. We're gonna have to bring back Platypus Dragon. When your grade 3 grade Vanguard myth card and its name is placed during your ride phase, perform one of the following. If you have no unit with the same card name as this unit, call it to rear guards. This works really well with the myth card strategy. If you have a unit in the same card name as this, Soul Blast 1, put this on the bottom of your deck and draw a card. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. So this just gets you free advantage from the drop zone if you already have one. Back row center, during your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, all your front row mythic cards get 5k. Dude, this is such a good card for the Mythicar deck. Mythicar Mary-ish. When they see this placed on rear guard by the ability of your card with Mythicar and its card name, if you have Mythicar Vanguard, Combos 1, draw a card. Until end of turn, when your opponents would call cards from hand to guard, for the battle this unit attacked, they must call 2 or more. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. It helps with, so it kind of helps you and gives you like a win con / pressure card. That's really cool. Flower Storm Dragon, when you discard if you're grade 2 or greater Vanguard, Soul Blast 1, call it to rear guard. If an order card was put into drop zone this turn, it gets boost. So that's really cool because it doesn't mean you have to activate an order. It just, if an order got placed in the drop by any means. That's really cool. Meroclausium Dragon, when this unit is discarded from your hand during your turn, if you're grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Maelstrom this name, Energy Blast 2. And this unit called to rear guard. This is really cool because for the Maelstrom deck, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't actually have to be Aqua Force. It's okay. It's a Tear Dragon, which Tear Dragon still works with Maelstrom. So this is the only card that actually does that for the Maelstrom deck. That's really cool. If your Order Zone has a Blue Star Armada, this unit can intercept from the back row and gets 5k. Pow. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. It works with your column swappers really well. That's really cool. Hurtful Pumpolino. This is a sick looking card. It sucks that, look at that. This is a sick looking card. When this continuous. It gets 5k for each time you played a Codex order this turn. Front row rear guard, if your Vanguard is attacked by your opponent's rear guard, retire this. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards. Decrease that unit's power by that unit's original power until the end of turn. That's really cool. This is a beater. This is I believe this is for the Buddha insect deck. This is a beat. Oh, if we actually get to play this card in that deck, this card looks awesome, dude. This card looks awesome. Imitable Maiden Alvina. When this is placed on a rear guard from hand, other during the battle phase, Energy Blast 3, perform one of the following. Choose an order without Regalis from drop zone, put it into your hand. Choose a grade 1 or less unit card from drop zone, call it to rear guard. During your turn, 4 more units gets 2. Oh man, this is so good. This is so good for every Stoicheia deck ever. It sucks that it only works from hand, but it's like Diantha, but it's like a free Diantha because it only costs energy. Fly Over Vivicroc. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard, combos 1 with the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 Codex. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, draw a card. So if you fail to find, you still get to draw a card, man. I wish they would do this more often with search effects, to whereas if you fail to find, you either get refunded the cost or you get something else completely. This is awesome. I'm so glad that they're doing this again. Continuous rear guard. This unit gets 5k for each time you played a Codex order this turn. So that's really cool. That's really cool. And then we have Vulnerable Storjaya. This is the Buddha insect. This is really cool. During your turn, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and you played a Codex order, all your front row get 5k. And then it has auto Vanguard once per turn. When you play a normal order, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, until end of turn, you play an additional order this turn and cannot play orders other than Codex orders. So your first order can technically be anything. Which I don't know if you want to play orders outside of Codex orders in this deck, but technically your first order can be anything, and then you get an additional order regardless, but it has to be Codex. That's really cool. And then when this unit is attacked, combos 1, choose your opponent's rear guards. For each time you play a Codex order this turn, stand it. Oh, when this unit attacks. Okay. So basically, if you played 2 Codex orders, you get 2 more multi-attacks. If you only play 1 Codex order, you only get. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Really cool strategy. Alright, these are the Regalis pieces. We're gonna go over that in a second. I just want to go over these cards real quick. Really cool. This set is looking like a banger. And look, you see how excited I am? Like, yeah, and I did know a little bit about this set, but man, it felt like we were waiting for this set forever, guys. It literally felt like we were waiting for this set forever. And you know, it's like, patience is a virtue, man. Like, patience is a virtue, and man, if you just... this is so cool. Like, I'm actually really, like, legitimately, I'm very hyped to play this set. Did I pass it? Where, so this is the codex order. Yeah, this is the codex order. That's a codex order too. Okay, so you only get 2 different codex orders. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna go over the 2 new Regalis pieces. This is a Blitz order Regalis piece. Choose one of your units being attacked. It gets 10k in a battle, and it has Kant. This card's auto ability can be resolved even if you resolved a Regalis piece ability this fight. And it has auto drop zone. When your unit's being attacked, remove this card from drop zone. Choose your unit's being attacked, and it gets 5k in a battle for each grade of that unit. So I'm not really a fan of this. If they were gonna do this, they should have made it that way to begin with. Because I'm okay with the Regalis pieces being power 1-ofs, but if they were gonna make it to where it's like, oh, basically this card says that you can resolve 2 Regalis pieces in one fight, as like long as this isn't the first Regalis piece you resolve, I'm not really a huge fan of that, to be honest. It kind of feels like it ruins the whole mechanic of Regalis pieces, that you can only use Regalis pieces once each fight, and they're like hard 1-ofs in decks. So it's very interesting. And then we got a reprint Bracing Angel Ladder. Not really an exciting reprint. I don't feel like there's any decks that can afford to play these nowadays. It's either you're running really good non-engine, or you're like, you have to run all of your engine pieces, and you end up not having space for this, in my personal opinion. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys. We're back, baby, and we're gonna be giving you more great content like this. There's gonna be deck profiles, and there's gonna be POV matches in the near future for sure. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, guys, later.